When you think about your family and friends, are you able to express how you feel without fear of criticism? If you answered no or said you don't know, not really sure, this new moon in Cancer is going to help you figure it out. Hey love, if you are new, welcome. If you've been rocking with me for a while, welcome back. I'm So Love Sari, and this is another lunar energy update. It's been a hot ass minute, right? So much has happened since we last saw each other, since we last spoke. But if you want the tea, all the juicy details, then head over to my YouTube channel, which you're likely watching me on YouTube now, but head over to the post section on my YouTube channel and check out the latest manifest energy update, all right? Okay, to the nitty gritty. Today we are talking about emotional safety. So if you are somebody who has likely ever thought and or felt that you just don't feel safe or emotionally safe around your family and friends, this video is for you. We are unpacking it all, getting into the lunar transits, because this is a new moon in Cancer that we have coming up this weekend. And baby, the tea, the juicy details, it's about to be 305 live. Okay, so first off, emotional safety is where you feel secure enough around different people, places, things, situations, right? AKA your family and your friends, where you feel safe enough to be vulnerable and express what your needs, your thoughts, your emotions are without fear of being judged, retaliated against, or ridiculed for it. If you feel like you constantly got to keep your head on the swivel, watch what you say, how you say it, when you say it, if you say it, every time you bring up your own needs, they being dismissed and never ever met, but you always constantly showing up and being there and helping everybody else get what they want, need, and desire, but nobody can seem to do the same for you. Or if every time you share something about your past or a past experience that has happened to you, and the next thing you know is being used against you or weaponized, then these are all signs that emotional safety is lacking in your relationships with your friends, your family, significant others, whoever, whatever, however. The good news is you have energy here to support you along this path in this particular experience with the new moon in Cancer. So on Tuesday the 14th, we have the new moon in Cancer, and Cancer is the energy of I feel. Okay, so you are going to have to actually embrace and feel and face your emotions and the truths that those emotions are bringing up to light or to the surface for you. Don't worry, I'm holding your hand as we go, okay? No worries. Typically, new moons are about planting new seeds, setting new intentions, manifesting all the things, etc., etc. But this particular new moon is less about setting an intention or planting a new seed for whatever it is that you want to accomplish or grow, and more so about stepping into the shadow self. So shadow work integration, okay? So facing the hidden and repressed parts of yourself that you had to hide and press down in order to survive traumatic or unsafe environments, right? Things that are registered in your body and in your nervous system as unsafe. When we talk about the moon, it is one of the luminaries in astrology, and so the moon itself represents the inner world. And with this being the new moon phase of the lunar cycle, this is the shadow self. So you are literally facing your shadow self and your inner world that has been kept in the dark and kept hidden from others around you, aka your family and your friends. Okay, we're going to get to the nitty gritty of all this in a second. It's going to all come together, mesh well, and make sense, I promise. All right, so again, the new moon is happening in Cancer. Cancer is the energy of I feel, and it cares about being caring and being cared for. It cares about nurturing as well as being nurturing. It ultimately just wants to feel safe and have safety and create a safe environment and be in a safe environment. And amongst that, it also cares about having that sense of safety and security with those that are closest to you. So your friends, your family, your significant other, whoever it is that you consider to be your close-knit tribe and network and family, be it chosen family or bloodline family, okay? What's really beautiful about this Cancerian energy is that it's all about, or the intentional focus of it really is about sensing and restoring from the feminine, the divine feminine perspective. Now, the opposite sign of Cancer is Capricorn, and so the polarity, what it naturally attracts is Capricorn energy, and Capricorn energy is all about achieving and being tenacious, so being in things for the long haul. however that saying goes, and ultimately establishing status. And so this polarity and this axis of energy, this give and take between Cancer and Capricorn, where each is learning from the other, this energetic focus, if you will, is all about security and safety, where security is your state of being free from danger and or threat, and your status being your sense of safety, aka your emotional and mental well-being. Now, before we go any deeper, I want you to take a second and look at your natal chart and pay attention to where you have Cancer at in your chart. Specifically, I'm gonna get it out. Specifically, what house is in, because the house is going to tell you what area of life this emotional stress is going to come up for you and where this emotional healing is taking place. So, for example, if you have Cancer on the second house, the emotional stress that's going to populate is going to be around the way that you view your self-worth and how worthy and valuable you feel as a result of your family dynamics and your sense of safety within yourself, within being around other people, places, and things, and how you navigate the world in relation to your own worth and how you identify with your own self-worth. Key aspects here, we've got the moon conjunct sun and Mercury, and we've also got the moon, sun, and Mercury square Saturn. So it's gonna be a little bit of tension here, but don't worry. Again, I'm holding your hand. I got you. So with this square, you already got Saturn in Aries, and then the sun and the moon are at 21 degrees, which is a Sagittarius degree. So you got a lot of fire energy off the bat already at play. Now, again, with this being a new moon, okay, when the moon is at its darkest, okay, we are looking at the shadows of things. But with the moon and the sun being in the 21st degree, which is a Sagittarius degree, the theme here, what you're probing for in the dark was being brought to light out of the dark, is the theme of how your family dynamics or how your position within your family dynamics either expand and or impact your sense of safety and security and your status. So the stress here is going to be around feelings of being limited, constricted, frustrated, and just plain out feeling stuck in a family situation or relationship with a friend or significant other, whatever, however, right? In a relationship period, feeling stuck, being unheard, unseen, unvalued or not valued, undervalued, and feeling unworthy and like you don't have any other options, or like nobody else is going to love you, or nobody else is going to care enough to check in on you, even if it is once in a blue moon or half-assed in a way, right? The thing to remember here when this stress kicks up for you, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when and in what way, okay? The thing to remember is the first energetic mindset that I always teach, which is it's not personal, it's just energy. You need to observe the emotions that are coming up, but do not allow them to consume or cloud your judgment or blur the fucking lines of your true identity, who you are at your core, okay? Don't let them people take you out of your character. Okay, that's what they banking on. That's what they waiting on. For more guidance and support on how to manage distress and find relief, go to the How to Protect Your Energy playlist under the Start Here section on the homepage of my YouTube, okay? These are the same emotional energetic mindsets that I teach my one-on-one clients, okay? Matter of fact, I'll link for you below in the description box below. The point is, what comes up for you is simply information, okay? It does not mean anything specifically about you, and it does not define you or who you are as an individual, as a person, as a soul having this human experience, okay? Sagittarius energy is the energy of I see. And so the experience that you are having here is trying to help you see your sense of safety clearly. So this is where it's coming from, what and who is impacting it, and what and who is expanding it, okay? Again, the moon is in Cancer, but it's sitting at a Sagittarius degree, 21 degrees. So that is the underlying current of your sense of safety and security that this particular lunar cycle is trying to help you establish, navigate, and deal with and heal, emotionally heal this lunar cycle. Now, we cannot skip over the fact that Mercury is indeed in retrograde. And anytime you have a planet, regardless of which one it is, in a retrograde, the energy is turned inward on itself. And so the journey that you are being guided through this lunar cycle is rooted in temperature gauging and essentially expanding your skewed perspective. If that ain't making sense to you, or you one of them people that feel like Mercury retrograde is just ruining your life, baby, no. Okay, this is widening your view, your field of vision, right? Turning the lights on so you can see what the fuck is really going on. Because what you don't realize is, while Mercury is indeed the planet of communication, it's also a planet that governs how your inner narrative shapes your experiences. And right now, what experience is being shaped and adjusted is your experience of safety and your status that you have accumulated and or have because of it or as a result of it. So for the people in the back, this is your state of being free from people, places, things, situations, ideas, whatever, okay, that threaten your well-being, that cause some sense of danger to your mental, your emotional, your complete well-being. So going back to that thermostat analogy, your inner dialogue, the thoughts that you find yourself having, the conversations and decisions that you keep ruminating on and playing over and over again about what you shoulda, coulda, woulda, have done, have said, have done better, whatever, like that is your thermostat for who and what is actually safe for you and who and or what is not. That came out like a tongue twister, but you get what I'm saying. The beauty here is that this is a lesson in how to reconnect with your body, your nervous system, your heart, however, whatever you want to label this as, okay? And listen to your intuition. It's teaching you how to protect your energy and your emotional and mental well-being. All right, so now some things to be mindful of, okay, as you go, because like I said, with all this fire energy happening, baby, this Aries and this Sagittarius energy happening in the shadows of this Cancer energy for this new moon, baby. It's going to be some landmines, okay? It's going to be a little chaotic. The first thing is to allow yourself to take the time that you need to process difficult conversations. Do not allow anybody to rush you or make you feel rushed in how you respond or how you want to handle different situations and scenarios and family dynamics in terms of access that you give people to you, your time, your energy, your money, whatever, in the process, okay? You're going to want to prioritize self-compassion, self-love, and self-care, okay? Regardless of what's going on, you got to take care of yourself, and you cannot deal with the chaos of things from a calm and level-headed place or point of view if you are consumed and overwhelmed with trying to prove yourself and prove all the things to everybody. Like, the only person's opinion of you that matters is yours. Next one is say no to being Captain Save-A-Ho. Stop rushing to rescue people from their own mistreatment towards you. There is no need for you to justify the actions, okay? Just pay attention to the actions and recognize the fucking pattern. Now, this next one is FOMO, okay? You want to be cautious of allowing yourself to wallow and become overwhelmed by FOMO, the fear of missing out. Me, myself, personally, being as introverted as I am, I be hoping a nigga leave me alone, okay? Like, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Always being treated like an afterthought is an answer, is the answer, okay? They don't value you. Stop trying to force the connection. Start instead honoring the distance that they have created. You're also going to want to look out for indulgence, okay? The need to belong or being desperate to belong. This will keep you in situations and around people, places, and things and circumstances that will continue to foster a lack of emotional safety, which is what you are trying to heal and repair this lunar cycle. So just don't do it. You're also going to want to be mindful of being overly optimistic. This is not the time to lean into giving people the benefit of the doubt. There is a time and a place for that, but that ain't this and this ain't that, okay? Maya Angelou said it best. When people show you who they are, believe they ass the first time. Now, probably the most challenging thing this lunar cycle is going to be learning how to not attach your abundance, your worth, or your ability to survive to another individual or to a specific family dynamic or your role within a family dynamic. Familiarity does not equal safety. Familiarity does not equal safety. Familiarity does not equal safety. All right, my love, let's go ahead and dive into some tarot therapy so we can see what your most supportive path forward looks like and how you're going to best manage the stress that comes up for you. Loves, let's go ahead and dive in. So this is the Crystal Grid Oracle deck. Well, we'll see what card that was that just popped out. We've got prosperity. So whatever it is you're worried about, don't be, okay? I know this is easier said than done, but you are, look at there, we've got knowledge. You're already getting confirmation that things are going to work out regardless of what it is you need to say, whatever decision it is you need to make, all of the things, okay? So no worries there. What else? Let's see, let's get one more. There we go. Look at there, rebirth. And for those that are curious, this is what the box looks like for that. But yeah, we've got rebirth. Okay. So immediately this, and look at it, we've got 20, 24, and 22. So with the bounce forward and then the jump back, this does tell me that you are, the energy here is it feels like you're gonna be, what is it, because it's like an arrow, you pull an arrow back in order to launch forward. So you're going to be launched forward, and then you're going to essentially take 2 steps back, and it's going to at first feel like a setback, but it's really just a rebirth, because you've got to calibrate. You can't just shoot forward and then not stabilize, right? And so you're not gonna lose your momentum or your progress. You're simply going to be recalibrating, and so it's going to take a moment for you to come back up. So it's basically like pinpointing your end destination or end location where you want to, your end destination of where you're going to end up. And so you're launching forward to get to that, but then you're going to take a step back or two to be able to recalibrate. Okay, so as you go throughout this process, keep that in mind as you go throughout this journey of adjusting, right? Who it is that you are keeping in your life, and who and what it is you're gonna continue to entertain and, you know, focus your attention and energy on. Keep that in mind as we go, okay? All right. This one is the Animal Apothecary deck, okay? So we're going to take a look and see what messages we have coming out of here. Didn't want to shuffle. Excuse me, I'm burping. Very interesting. I keep being shown like this back and forth, like a pendulum, or as the term goes, being yo-yoed back and forth, and then followed by kind of like a dizzy feeling. What you need to know and understand again is that you're just recalibrating. So take the time that you need to digest and process what's happening without the need or the pressure to prove or fix or take immediate action. The immediate action is recalibration, adjusting, and allowing your energy to come back up to this new way of being and this new mindset and change, essentially, right? So it's going through the different phases of change. You have the learning curve, you have the grieving period, the learning curve, and the adjustment period, okay? I know I was gonna remember. I was like, dang, what is it? I'm not remembering. But yeah, so for many of you, the grieving period has already occurred, to be quite honest with you, especially with rebirth and knowledge coming out here, okay? And we've got a gray feather there. We've got smoky quartz, mineralite, and green garnet. But with smoky quartz in particular, this is a healing crystal that helps you essentially sweep out the negative energy and essentially kind of move things along. Now we have Nourish the Shadow. What did I tell you? Like, didn't I tell you this new moon was basically having you face and turn into the shadows. And look at that, you even have a moon on there, right? Now that does remind you of a full moon, but in the context of this new moon and this underlying Sagittarian energy, and with that luminary, that second luminary, the sun sitting right there next to the moon, it's highlighting and saying, hey, this is what the fuck is really going on. This is what's happening. Time to nourish your soul, your shadow, and face it and accept it, and really stop denying the truth of what it is that you need, the truth of who you are, and the truth of what's really happening, what you're actually experiencing. Like, stop numbing yourself to it and actually do something about it. Okay? Look there. Shake, release, heal, move on. If that's not confirmation, I don't know what is, honey. I don't know what is. Okay? Look there. You are what you think. So again, for a lot of you, I mentioned earlier that this was going to be a situation, especially with the sun and the moon, and I believe Mercury as well, squaring the Saturn in Aries right now. There's going to be a lot of pushback, right? Like a how dare you realize that such as that I've been mistreating you, or how dare you realize this energetic exchange has been unfair to you this whole time, like how dare you type situation. And you're gonna get a lot of pushback, but Spirit is saying, hey, your mindset, your self-awareness, those are going to be key to your success and your quote-unquote survival through this journey, through this process. And the more that you keep your wits about you, which again is why I always preach self-awareness and understanding how your own energy works, because when you have that knowledge of self, you're confident in yourself, your self-confidence is high, and so is your sense of self-worth and self-value. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this to the side so we can get a better look at the actual journey that you're on, the lesson this is supposed to be teaching you, and how you're actually going to navigate. Okay, this is the Way of the Panda Tarot, for those that are curious and interested. This is what it looks like, and I believe she actually just released a oracle deck to go with this. I don't know that it specifically goes with this particular deck, but it does match the theme. Okay, so not affiliated in any way, just sharing information, informing. Okay, manifesting, informing. Oh, all right, so we got the Five of Cups. Yeah, so again, the grieving period that we talked about before is in full effect for some of you. For others, you've already reached the point where you have the emotional clarity after that grieving period. But with the Five of Cups coming in here, this is going to be perceived as a devastating loss at first, but I promise you, everything isn't what it seems. And oftentimes the greatest losses come with an even better reward, if that makes sense. Like, I'm trying to articulate the energy that I'm feeling here, because it's basically like the high risk, high reward type situation. Okay, all right, we've got the Page of Swords in reverse. Four of Wands in reverse. Yeah, you're thinking this is going to be, so first off, you're confused. And I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at the irony of it all, right? And this is why this particular lunar cycle is so freaking important. Right now you're confused, you can't make heads or tails of what's going on, and what it's teaching you is how to look beyond what you see at first, right? Because this is a card about harmony and essentially living in a harmonious way. But you haven't been able to recognize what is or is not harmonious because you can't see past the grief. Okay, grief is an interesting emotion. It can be very all-consuming, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and it can also keep you from seeing what's right in front of you or seeing the forest for the trees, as they say, because it's debilitating. It very well can be debilitating. And this is me speaking from experience and having recently gone through a heavy grieving period myself. So I get it. At the same time, this lunar cycle, this particular journey is serving as your wake-up call to alchemize the knowledge and allow yourself to be reborn. Okay, and this is not reborn in terms of as they say, ego deaths. I don't believe in ego deaths, because why would spirit ask you to kill off parts of yourself? Like, that don't even make sense. That's just my personal opinion, unpopular opinion, sure, whatever. I progress. Okay, this particular journey, this lunar cycle, is asking you to take what you are, what your grief is showing you that you need in terms of being able to protect your energy in order to have the emotional wealth and energetic sovereignty. I always want to put an extra R in there. Sovereignty, that you deserve and that you're required to thrive, right? So this is you alchemizing the confusion into knowledge and information that you can actually use so that you can be prosperous or have prosperity and allow yourself to exist in a different way of being. So this is about giving yourself a different experience to have. And what I'm being shown is that this is a situation of really being where you haven't had any other experiences, so you don't know that any other experiences exist. But that's what this particular lunar cycle is going to help you navigate in towards and reveal to you, because you've been in such a heavy bout of grief that everything is just is unclear. It is, but it's not. Right? The truth is there. You feel it and you see it within your grief, but you're identifying with the loss instead of observing what the loss is trying to show you. Okay. All right. So now we've got the Ace of Cups. Yeah. You're being guided to reconnect with your sense of self. And what it is, look at Three of Cups, the Hierophant. Sorry, I'm just putting them down. So we got the Three of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and then the Hierophant. Okay, so immediately this is telling me that there are a specific set of beliefs and ways of doing things that have been drilled into you, and that's the part that's confusing. That's the part that's hard to find a balance and make sense of. Okay, you are not required to live your life according to anybody else's design, plan, strategy, whatever. The whole point of the human experience is for you to do what works for you, to experience what works for you, and to invest your time, your energy, your resources into what specifically works for you. Now, a lot of it is going to be trial and error, because that's part of the human experience. Coming here, learning how to manipulate and alchemize energy, right? But at the same token, or in the same breath, when you are born into a family, you are also born into a set of ideologies, rules, spoken and unspoken, right? Ideas and way of thinking and being that has been passed down from one generation to the next. And until somebody decides to question it or to say, hey, this doesn't work for me, I'm going to go left instead, the pattern is going to continue, and their confusion is going to continue to be exacerbated and to continue to spread and be abundant until somebody says, hey, something in the milk ain't clean. Let's question this. Let's do something different. Let's experiment. right? And you are essentially at that point where you're questioning what you've been taught all of your life, what you've been conditioned to believe, and the way that you have been taught to view and perceive the world and life around you. Okay, look there, we've got the 9 of Pentacles. And so what I just saw in my mind is somebody giving you flowers and you pushing it away, saying no, basically refusing the flowers. Right now, traditionally you think, okay, flowers are supposed to be a gift, something to be cherished and loved and adored, etc., and you would be correct. But the flip side, because we are talking about the shadow energy, the shadow self, this particular lunar cycle, the flip side of this is rejecting the identity that is being forced upon you, the specific flower that is being forced upon you. That you might not like roses, maybe you like daffodils or frangipanis or something like that. It's also symbolic of life, literal life. There's a saying that says, if you like people who like flowers, pick them, but people who love them, leave them to grow, and they just simply admire them as they are. And so essentially somebody has picked the flowers and have given them to you with the expectation that you would just accept them. And you are now saying, no, I don't accept them. I don't accept that way of life, that way of thinking, that way of perceiving the world and being. Okay, look at that, we've got the 10 of Cups. What this is the point of this journey is taking you to and helping you realize is that what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is choosing as far as relationships and boundaries or lack thereof, right? And connection and interaction and status, the things that they value and allow to dictate their status and stability in life and how they are viewed and what they are pursuing does not resonate with you anymore. And this lunar cycle is teaching you how to take what you see, what you observe that does not resonate, does not align, does not match the core of your being, who you are, and to alchemize it into something else that is prosperous for you. Okay? So this is uncanny, but it's a rebirth through grief. Okay, the grief of everything that you have ever known being wrong, the grief of the life that you were taught to desire, that you were conditioned to pursue and yearn for and achieve, and all of the work. Oh, I just felt like a heavy pressure do this to my stomach. Kind of like how it feels when you drop on a roller coaster or something like that, but very heavy and dense. And that's, to me, that's the sign of feeling disappointed to an extent, but also this heavy disappointment with having put in all of this work and having accomplish so many different things only for it to seemingly not mean anything or amount to anything in the end. And I'm here to tell you now, regardless of how that looks or the perceived experience of your efforts and your work not mattering, that's not true. That's not the case. It's not that what you have achieved and what you have done doesn't matter. Is that it could be better applied and utilized elsewhere. So right now, this is about you changing and shifting the environment in which your gifts are applied, in which your presence is accessible, and in which your emotional safety is curated. Okay? Let's see, we have anything else coming out. Look at that, we've got the 8 of Pentacles. Okay. The 7 of Pentacles, look at that. 7 of Pentacles and 8 of Pentacles back to back. What was that? Look at there, Knight of Swords. Okay, so essentially this is saying the quicker you reallocate your resources, your three most precious resources, your skill sets, your assets, your access to your energy, right? Your three most precious resources being your time, your energy, and your money, right? The quicker you reallocate all of those things, the faster you're going to align, and the faster you're going to build momentum, and the faster you're going to see a shift out of this grief, right? This grief is trying to tell you that, hey, this is time to relocate. Relocation doesn't always mean physical pick up, pack up your stuff and leave and go to another place, city, state, country, whatever. Sometimes, and in a lot of instances, relocation is referring to the emotional access, the spiritual access, the mental access, the focus and attention, where you're placing your energy, focus, and attention on different people, places, and things. It's time to relocate where you're placing your attention, energy, and your focus. Relocate where you find emotional safety. Relocate your definition of emotional safety, of self-worth, of material assets and gains and value, of your confidence, right? Like, it's you relocating and reallocating all of those things for yourself, because what you've been taught, what you grew up in, does not work for you. It's not that it's right or wrong, it simply just does not mix with your energy. And if you need help understanding more about the energetic dynamics of this, the 4 emotional energetic mindsets would be perfect for you. I have an entire series of a 4-part series called the 4 emotional energetic mindsets. I'll have that link for you in the description box below, but it'll basically help you develop the mindset that's necessary for you to make this shift and transition out of grief as it relates to this disappointment that you are feeling and that you have allowed yourself to identify with. Don't identify with the disappointment. Allow the disappointment to be your teacher. I'm sorry, y'all. The camera died on me, so I had to plug up the phone. And right now it's on the charger, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up. But I don't identify with the disappointment. Allow the disappointment to walk beside you and be your teacher. Take the wisdom, okay? The knowledge and wisdom from the disappointment, from the grief, from what you are experiencing, and allow yourself to be reborn, to grow from it, to learn from it, to understand where and how and in what capacity you need to relocate your mental, physical, emotional, spiritual well-being. You are not stuck. You only think you stuck, okay? You have other options. Your only options are not to sink or swim. You can float too. And so this lunar cycle is teaching you how to float. So for more guidance and support on how to float and make sense of your stress so that you can purify your energy, because that's all that really needs to happen for you to get up out of this grief, is you just need to purify your energy, okay? For more guidance and support and help understanding your stress and purifying your energy, my energy readings are open, okay? They'll be linked for you in the description box below. All right, my love, that is it for our lunar energy update and our tarot therapy session for emotional healing. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the next one. Bye.